Welcome to my channel.
Story 1-2. I'm not smart, but the dress and glasses are proof of her cheating. I am not a smart person. Though, with every passing day, I try to be less gullible. We were in a relationship for 3 years. We had some wonderful times. I was bitter by the time we ended. I was unemployed for quite a while during our relationship. I stayed in Sweden. She stayed in the UK. I visited her regularly and we'd Skype for almost 3-4 hours every day. My unemployment was causing us financial difficulties, and for a month or two, I had to borrow money from her to pay for my rent. After a point, I had it enough and decided to move back to my home country and get my old job back as a banker. Before moving back, we decided to spend some time together. She would always say, we would get settled once I got a decent job. She had quite a many relationships and friends with benefits in the past. On the other job, it was my first real relationship. I never, for a minute, judged her for being in contact with all her exes or meeting them regularly. We had stopped having sex entirely. Before, we used to go out a lot and socialize much. Even before I met her, I used to go dancing and have fun with my friends. I had stayed in the kingdom for 5 years before moving to Sweden. I don't smoke or drink, she does both. So, on this dreaded night, we had gone out with some of our mutual friends. She had gotten drunk, and on our way back, she gets a message from one of her exes. I don't think much of it. I tell her to reply, if important. She, in her drunken state, says, "Oh, he just wants a dirty picture of mine." And I am all attentive suddenly. She slept immediately after reaching our apartment. Her phone buzzed a lot, and I did the unthinkable, which I never trusted myself to do. I picked her phone and went through the messages over the lock screen. I did not unlock her phone. I would have, if I knew the code. I don't remember each word of those messages, but they conveyed she used to regularly send naked pictures of herself, and it had been going on for some time. I could not sleep that night. Next morning, I asked her about what she meant last night, or did she send any nudes to her ex. She denied categorically and shouted on me, and said I should be happy that she is with me. She said if I don't trust her, then it is my problem, not hers. I trusted her, but the problem was I trusted my eyes even more. After a couple of weeks, while I was reconfiguring my laptop, I asked her if I could use her laptop to check my emails. She opened her laptop for me and went to shower. I opened Gmail, and she had not signed out from her account. The latest email was from her ex, and I opened it. It had many attachments, dirty pictures of hers and him. It had pictures of them having sex. I knew the photos were recently taken, maybe just before I had come to the kingdom. I knew this because on my trip 3 months ago, I purchased new sunglasses and a black dress for her. She had the sunglasses on several of naked pictures. It broke my heart right there. I did not know then that her ex stayed in the same city in the UK. And she comes out of shower and sees me teary-eyed. She realized something was off. I had closed the browser window. She asked if anything was wrong. I told her everything. She started apologizing and crying and trying to convince me that it meant nothing with her exes. And I was the one. Yes, she said exes plural. I could not say much. Just told her, can I trust you to tell me everything and help me take my decision, or you would rather have us break up now? She narrated a story, how she became weak and how she needs sex. And she was just having fun. She asked for one opportunity and I gave our relationship a chance, to repair any kinks. I loved her. I was still shattered from inside. I came back to India. I tried getting my old job back and stayed in touch with her all that while. She came back to India after 2 months. She and her best friend had some 10-day seminar to attend in Bangalore. I wanted to surprise her as her birthday was approaching. In the meantime, I had secured a good paying job with extra perks. I kept it from her. I came a day before her to Bangalore and booked the same hotel. I was waiting to surprise her. But fate had other plans. She came with her friend to the reception to collect the keys. Only her friend was one of her exes. I was in the sitting area, my heart sunk. They shared a kiss, and my heart sunk more. I hid and called her. I asked her if she landed safely and if she reached the hotel. She said she missed me a lot and wished if I was there. They went to their room. I called her again and told I will visit her the same night as it was her birthday and I had a surprise planned for her. I believe she panicked and before she could say anything, I disconnected the call and messaged her I will see her in the evening. I patiently waited in my room and went to the reception around 9 p.m. and called her from there that I have reached. She came smiling and asked if I had booked a room. I said, why would I book a room? I will spend the night with her. She said her friend is sharing the room with her. She went to the side and called somebody. I assumed she told her ex to hide somewhere and book a room somewhere for the night. I asked her who did she call. She said she told her friend to find someplace else for the night. Once in the room, I went to take a shower and she joined me. We had some fun in there. After some light dinner, she asked at what time I will leave in the morning. I told around 8 a.m. She slept after that. I had seen her after almost 4 months. I just could not stop myself from taking her phone. She had a new Android phone with no passcode. I went through her WhatsApp, Facebook, Viber etc. She had quite a many one-night stands in the UK after I left. She was still seeing her ex there. She had sex with some guys at her home in India. She boasted about her escapades and ridiculed me in her messages to her best friend. I read everything. I was an idiot. I am an idiot. I just lay beside her, got up, wore my clothes and left her room around 6 a.m. I came back to my room and I just let myself weep. I got a call from her around 7:30 a.m. She was yelling. She asked if checked her phone, as battery on her cell phone was dying when she picked it when she woke up. She still had no regard and curiosity to know as where I am. I disconnected the call and I sat there. I never called her. I never messaged her. I had believed she was the one. We have many mutual friends. They ask me sometimes what transpired between us. I never said a word and dodged the questions with a smile. I should have ended things when I caught her the first time. But I was a firm believer of giving second chances. I don't anymore. Just for you all to know, I am decent looking, neat, well educated I believe, had a nice job when I met her. I struggled when I moved to Sweden. My current job takes me everywhere in the world from Morocco to Argentina and from Sudan to Iceland. And I am trained Latin dancer. For a long time, I blamed myself for whatever happened between us. And then I realized once a cheater, always a cheater. I still believe in love but I am scared. Sorry for the long post. Sorry for any grammar mistakes. Redditors' reactions. Redditor 1, you know what? You are seriously an idiot. Don't cry over a girl who left such a pure soul for someone else. I must tell you guy like you are hard to find with such emotionally big heart. If the story you told us to be believed then it's her loss. Not yours. Cry and weep. Hug your friend's mother and brothers and weep but don't let her take over your innocence. Relationship that too bad one has ended. Life hasn't. Slowly move on and life will be great. Trust me you will find a girl just like you. If such forgiving soul like you exist, then trust me understanding girls also exist. You will do good. If you are good, good will happen. Take care. Redditor 2, most all have been cheated on I think may in just a dating relationships or marriage. I know I have. If they cheat once I have learned to believe they will do it again. I don't want that pain again. My ex I caught him numerous times. I tried to forgive, but a liar is a liar. I also discovered he lies to feel good to make things interesting when a lot was unbelievable in just general conversation. And when talking to others he got to where he would tell these unbelievable lies in front of others that I knew when he said it wasn't true. I was so embarrassed I told him to never lie in front of me again that I will not stand there any longer. And if someone lies most likely they steal as well. And sure enough I caught him in affairs again. He had private post office box, was mailing nude pictures letters, computer disk with photos, he met women in hotel rooms made videos of them together. He had extra cell phones. He was having multi-affairs at once, one female he had been seeing for 3 years she was a widow he told her I had died, I was dead? Who does that calls themself a Christian? Wow, it ended even worse. Thank Jesus to be past that. Redditor 3, you sound like a lovely man, with a lot going for him. Don't let this make you bitter. Stay as nice as you are, but take note of the little signs that these crazy people give off. Believe me, there are lovely women out there that would appreciate you and never dream of treating you how this woman has. For the moment, enjoy your hobbies, friends and family. Be glad to be alive and free of that witch. Whatever nice face she presented to you was an illusion. You've lost nothing in losing her. The only way is up. Redditor 4, you just dodged a bullet. By that I mean you are lucky to be done with her. She sounds as if she is a manipulative person who may have mental health issues. Her promiscuity is a sign of bipolar disorder and her behavior is very much indicative of mental issues. Move on and learn from this. You will find the right girl, it takes time. You are lucky she hasn't given you an STD. Redditor 5, if you don't respect or value yourself, others will see it and take advantage. Your girlfriend knew what you were like and knew how far to push the boundaries without losing much, because you never set any boundaries regarding acceptable behavior. Your girlfriend upon full advantage of your weakness regardless of the fact you are weak in personality. Your girlfriend is a self-centered person who have no MSX boundaries. She is the kind of girl who one should never engage with, as her feelings takes priority over all others. I encourage you to like yourself and know what your value is. That way, you will be able to identify what's acceptable behavior and what isn't. Your value is not in another person. If you put your value in someone else, you have given the power to ill-treat you without consequence. Do not feel sorry for yourself, love yourself and learn how to hold good values and strive for them. Or else you will be used again by the next narcissist that comes along. Story 2-2. The mysterious phone changed my life. My wife cheated on me hard until today. Don't hang up. This is L. We met at that company name Happy Hour a few months ago. I think your wife is having an affair with my husband. A Sunday night at 11 p.m. Wife and 2 little kids are asleep. I'm reading in the living room. I usually don't answer cell numbers I don't know, but it showed as a local number, so I answered, just in case it was an emergency of some sort. I was incredulous. Did she have the right person? Was she sure? X would never do that to me. She was sure. She knew our spouses worked together, had started running together and had email evidence that they were having an affair. They had other group happy hours in the last couple of months, and they had had sex after at least 2 of them before going home. He was using an old email account he didn't know she had access to, and their emails were pretty explicit about the situation. I asked her to send me proof she was reticent to, for whatever reason. I dazedly said that I needed to talk to X about this and hung up. Went into the bedroom, turned on the light, and woke her up. Told her what I had been told, and said, but it's crap, right? I knew enough to know that my caller and her husband were a mess, and thought maybe this was some crap going on between them that my wife was being pulled into, and was completely innocent. The silence went on way too long. The story was that, at one of the recent ones, they'd both had a lot to drink, and the hug goodnight had turned into some kissing and messing around. She said she'd realized what was going on, instantly sobered up and scampered home, before things got too far. She told me it had just been the one time. She felt terrible and didn't tell me because she didn't want to hurt me. It wasn't an affair. Note that this was the night before our 7th wedding anniversary. I just started a new job, but I'm a damn mess for the next several days. Okay, so they didn't have sex, she didn't have feelings for him, it was a dumb drunk move. Certainly not acceptable, but we can work past it I think. Our relationship needed work and 2 little kids add both strain and lack of time to work on it. But without question, those 2 little guys deserve as good a shot as we can give it to keep the family together. 2 Fridays later, after work. I've got my toddler with me, playing on the floor, waiting for mommy to come home for dinner. Another call. She tells me X is lying. This wasn't once, this was multiple full sexual encounters, this was a full affair. She is going to show me proof. Where can I meet her? I'm pissed. I don't know if I should trust this woman, or X at this point. X had spent the last 10 days swearing up and down that she was telling me the whole truth, nothing left out. It was one drunken encounter that didn't go all the way. I take my daughter, before my wife gets home, and we go to the grocery store down the road, and meet her in the parking lot. She printed out the emails, and showed them to me. They were legit, they were explicit, and they were very clear as to how things had been going. My wife set up another email account I didn't know about, and had been using that to hide their conversations. She even had yelled at him in one email because he texted her, which could have gotten her caught. He needed to stick to just emailing her at that one address. I asked to take some irrefutable, concrete proof. I told her I really hoped she wasn't effing with me, that these weren't fake or something, that she wasn't playing some game with her husband for custody or something along those lines. She said she wasn't. X was home when I got back. She asked where I was. She was concerned when my daughter and I weren't home and I hadn't told her I was leaving. I pulled up my laptop, went to Gmail, typed the secret email address into the login screen, and told her to type the password and told her to show me that the emails I had printouts of weren't in that inbox. She refused. I dropped the printouts, got in the car, and went to my brother's house down the road. I came back later because I needed to know the whole story. I told her it was over, but I needed to know what actually happened. It was at least a month long. That happy hour had started it, and of course they'd had sex. It had continued through at least one other happy hour and at least 2 times during her lunch break in his car at some local park. And the day after I found out? Our actual 7-year anniversary? They kissed in the elevator at work on the way, and guess he was comforting her or something. I don't know. It's been 7 years now. We're still together. I still struggle with it. Every single day. But I deal with it, because I straight up can't bear the thought of not reading with my son at bedtime every night, or giving my daughter a good morning kiss. I'll deal with a troubled marriage for them because there's no question in my mind that their lives are much better, much happier, because our family is still together. But I don't know if there's too many less humiliating ways to find out that your wife is cheating on you than to have the wife of her lover call you up and tell you. Edit 1. Thanks to those who shared thoughtful comments. I really appreciate the supportive ones. Some days get harder than others, and it's not something I can talk about with pretty much anyone who knows me. Your prayers and good wishes do help. For those who tell me to cut bait and leave, I understand your perspective. Many days I wonder I should. Trust me, my confidence as a man, which was never great, has never recovered. And make no mistake, if there is any hint that there is a recurrence, it is over. But we get along, we have a relationship, and I genuinely believe she has loved me this whole time. So while I struggle to trust, I struggle to worry that all this will be in vain, and once a cheater, always a cheater. But as long as I feel that we're doing the right thing for the kids, I'll deal with the anxiety and humiliation and resentment and hope that one day we'll get totally past that, and we'll finally rebuild what we had. Redditors' reactions. Redditor 1. I'm so sorry. My husband was a philanderer from the get-go. I found out many times with many women, and it boiled down to my word against his. He told me that. I did love him, we had no children, but apparently I ruined his life by getting pregnant and thus married, so it was all my fault. My son died 2 weeks after he was born. I hoped that he would realize at some point how much I loved him and things would work out. No, he didn't love me, but after the separation I found out he had been seeing my best friend. Sounds like a cheap novel, but it's true. I got the story from her aunt, and my now former best friend from grade 3, lived off and on with him for many years. I wish you every luck in your future, and I know how hard it is to put something like that behind you. Good luck. Redditor 2, I'm sorry that happened to you. However, you know what's worse, at least in my opinion, is having everyone around you know what's going on and still smiling at you and claiming to be your friends. That lady showed respect for you and your children by speaking the truth. She did you a favor, be thankful for that. Redditor 3, I nearly called my ex-husband's lover's husband. I didn't, because I was afraid he might be 6 feet 4 inches 225 pounds, might beat my hubby to a pulp. Or shoot him. I figured our 4 kids didn't deserve that. But, I figured out something was going on because of his sudden distancing himself from me, carping at me for every little thing I did. I jokingly told our 20-year-old son that his dad was acting weird. I thought maybe he was either having a midlife crisis or an affair. Little did I know, when I finally felt pretty sure of my suspicions, confronted hubby, all he said was, "I'm not ready to talk about that yet." Well, guess what, we're gonna. It's a horrible thing that I don't wish on anyone. But, I hope your wife can put it behind you, make a good life for your kids. They deserve that. Redditor 4, I admire you. As you have children to raise and be there for. Nothing hurts more. But you get it. I don't think she's the woman you want to spend the whole rest of life with. But the sacrifice you are making until they are grown is admirable. I have been through this. I am divorcing. I'm a bit older than you. I probably stayed too long. At least re my happiness. But as far as my child now grown, it had to be. I'm sure she loves you. Who wouldn't? My gut tells me one day you will move on. But again, you are a man in full for staying. You hang in there, honey. Thanks for sharing. Redditor 5, I'm from a divorced family where my father was the cheater. They stayed together for 5 years after that. I'm not here to tell a sob story, so here's the short version. That period was awful. When my mom told us that my dad would leave, you know what was my reaction? Finally, that was long overdue. She was shocked when I said that. She later told me that they had thought they were hiding their problems well from us. I don't know how old your kids are, but believe me, they'll notice that the two of you are not on good terms. How much you're trying to hide it, it won't matter. What I'm trying to say is either face the music and get a divorce, or you have to accept the adultery, but really accept it and be a loving husband. Go all in, even if you might get hurt again. There is no reserve, no disgruntled sitting on the back seat here, figure of speech. Do your kids a favor, choose whichever solution works for you and get help executing it. I'm sorry that happened to you. You're obviously still struggling, and I wish you the wisdom and courage necessary to get through this. You're a brave man either way. Redditor 6, my dude, you should most definitely leave her. Your happiness in your relationship is important. You'll still be able to see your kids, but your self-respect is going to suffer every day you know that you allowed her to treat you like this and still stayed with her. Not only did she break the rules of your relationship, she lied when you confronted her about it. That shows an extreme lack of MSX fiber. People can change without experiencing consequences through introspection, but they usually change as a result of consequences. If she had told you the truth when you confronted her, I'd still say you should leave. If she told you without you having to find out through the guy's wife, then I'd say you should try to work it out. Thank you for watching. Comment what do you think about this situation. Don't forget to like and subscribe.